Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we are going to dive straight into a pitch-black box to uncover the deep, restless fabric of the universe itself. We're exploring the profound mystery of vacuum energy, the jitter of the coherence field.
Let's start with a classic thought experiment. If you take a box and remove every single thing inside it, every atom of matter, every particle of light, every obvious disturbance, classical physics would call what remains a perfect vacuum. We instinctively imagine perfect, silent emptiness. But the universe simply does not allow true emptiness.
Empty space is not empty. Modern physics tells us that even the vacuum has an underlying structure. Even in its lowest possible energy state, space is not dead. It jitters, it hums, with microscopic, shimmering geometry.
Let's step into our first section, zero-point restlessness and the quantum baseline.
Physicists call this irreducible ground state activity vacuum energy, or zero-point energy. Now, it's really important to grasp that this isn't ordinary heat. It's not hidden dark matter either. It means that even when absolutely no real particles are present, the quantum fields themselves are never mathematically silent. They retain a continuous, baseline activity. We need to exercise some strict scientific caution here. Virtual particles are often used as a popular shorthand, but the deeper description is field activity. The vacuum is not a box full of tiny marbles appearing and disappearing. It is a field that refuses to become mathematically still. It's a continuous, vibrating matrix.
This brings us to Section 2, the magnitude fracture, a genuine crisis of scale.
This subtle, inescapable field activity creates one of the deepest mismatches in all of modern physics. When quantum field theory estimates the energy of this restless vacuum, the result is absolutely immense. But when we look out into the cosmos, we observe a tiny, calm, dark energy effect, a minuscule gravitating pressure. The fracture between these two realities is just staggering.
Just how staggering? The difference between that raw quantum calculation and the observed cosmic pressure is an unfathomable 120 orders of magnitude. That's a 1 followed by 120 zeros. This isn't just a small disagreement, it is one of the most severe scale problems we have in physics.
The mystery is not simply that the vacuum has energy. The mystery is why almost all of that energy does not appear as cosmic gravitating pressure. Think about it. If the quantum math is right, why isn't this immense boiling energy just ripping the universe apart?
To help answer that, let's look at Section 3, the GEM interpretation, reframing the vacuum.
General Emergence Mechanics, or GEM, doesn't treat the vacuum as a garbage bin of random particle foam. In GEM, the vacuum is the field itself, a continuous, scale-free coherence matrix. Energy isn't pictured as some separate fluid poured into emptiness. It's interpreted through geometry, curvature, constraint, and admissibility cost. And that quantum jitter? Well, that's simply the baseline adjustment of the field, maintaining its own geometric coherence.
This provides a really radical shift in perspective. The vacuum is not nothing. It is the background field constantly testing what can become coherent. It's an active, restless testing ground for reality.
Moving right into Section 4, possibility versus persistent geometry. This is how we actually resolve that massive scale fracture.
In GEM, raw vacuum possibility is not the same as persistent geometry. The vacuum may contain enormous possible field activity, that massive quantum calculation we just talked about, but most of it cancels locally, fails to close globally, or never becomes admissible as large-scale persistent geometry. Only a tiny residual survives, and that is the precise cosmological persistence pressure we measure as dark energy.
Picture a calm, live geometric ocean. Even when there are no storms or visible ships, the ocean's surface is never mathematically dead. It ripples. Those microscopic ripples aren't the ocean throwing a tantrum, and the quantum jitter is not the universe misbehaving. It's simply the universe keeping its own books balanced.
This framework beautifully bridges the microscopic to the cosmic. We're really looking at two languages describing the exact same field. One is the field breathing at the microscale, our quantum fluctuations and zero-point activity. The other is the field relaxing across deep time, which we observe as dark energy.
So most raw vacuum possibility simply doesn't become reality. It cancels out before it can persist. Where the standard model sees a stark, glaring contradiction in the math, GEM sees a perfectly balanced ledger, immense raw possibility, massive local cancellation, and a tiny persistent residual.
As we wrap up this explainer, I want you to consider this. The vacuum is not nothingness. It is the fabric of everything, waiting for its next shape. Empty space is the background coherence field from which all admissible patterns emerge.
So is empty space really empty? Or is it the universe quietly keeping its own geometry coherent? Think about that profound distinction the next time you look up into the deep, pitch-black night sky. Thank you for joining me, and I hope this helps you see the unseen universe in a completely new light.